Hello, my friends. I've got my more historical hat on today in honor of our little commander, although this is actually neither military nor Russian. It's a kind of Polish student's cap, if you will. But, boy, hectic day today. So it's already getting on towards mid evening, and I'm back in my own yard, as you can see. Maybe this is a better time because there are some neighbor kids out playing, but I don't hear any power tools, so that's nice. Yesterday I did not get a chance to do the second diary entry. Today I hope I will be able to. This diary entry from 1906 is rather a long one, but I think we can get through it. And again, Dmitri has skipped a day. So he's gone from the 11th to the 13th. You remember on the 11th, he was doing this Japanese dance that upset Georgy Mikhailovich Flaming. And I have a feeling that he probably did his own special version of it, because honestly, I don't see anything objectionable to the dance. Although it's interesting that he would be doing a Japanese dance when Russia had just been defeated in a war by Japan. Okay, so today's diary entry, as I said, is 13 April. It's a Thursday, and we'll dive right in. Today was the first rehearsal. Horrible how frightening it was, but only until I drew my saber. As soon as I drew it, I immediately felt good, and when I stepped forward, I felt such an uplifting of my spirit that I was ready to go God only knows where. I did it 4 times, and the last time was really good. I don't know why, but it seemed like everyone was bowing in a special way. The guard then called to me, and I had to bow and wave my saber so that they could leave. Today was the Grenadier Regiment's parade. Before lunch, they displayed their old uniforms. It was very interesting. Yesterday, we danced at Pavlovsk. It was a lot of fun. The day before yesterday, Aunt Mavra gave birth to a daughter. No wonder she had such a fat belly when we were going there earlier, but for some reason I didn't guess what the cause was. Yesterday, Gavril told me about the scandal that happened while he was riding. An artillery officer came galloping after Uncle Mitya and all the children and shouted at them to move to the right, and when he had almost caught up to them, he shouted, "Didn't you hear me, you flat-footed rat?" Then Uncle Mitya blocked the road and asked the officer what he was doing there. "I'm galloping my horse," the man answered. "Go to the commandant and ask him in my name to put you under arrest for 28 days, said Uncle Mitya. There was also a scandal at the parade today. The singers were wearing civilian hats, and the officer in charge of them was placed under arrest for 28 days. So they were both under arrest, and I didn't see them at the rehearsal. Okay, some exciting stuff going on if you're 14, I guess. So first, the rehearsal. We can breathe a sigh of relief because it went well, as you can see. So we'll hope that the real event goes well also. But for the meantime, I think it really has boosted his confidence. So he was scared, but the minute he drew his sword, the martial spirit overtook him, and he felt like he could march his troops right into battle. Maybe I was ready to go God only knows where, whatever that means. So this comment about it seemed like everyone was bowing in a special way. So the word, I've always believed this word to mean bowing and really nothing else. And I sort of looked it up to make sure and looked at images, and all the images were of people bowing. And when I tried to put it together with bowing soldiers, all I got was a lot of sort of propaganda pictures that I would hesitate to in Cyrillic out of Russia that I would hesitate to ever click on. So anyway, it's hard to picture, at least I've never been in the military, but it's hard for me to picture soldiers bowing, but maybe, rather than say saluting, but maybe they did that in Imperial Russia if there was a member of the imperial family. I don't know. I'm just kind of having to wing it when it comes to descriptions of military things. So bear with me on that. And then the guard should be plural. So the guard, the part of the battalion that was sort of the duty guard for that day at the palace, they were involved in this rehearsal, and Dmitri had to formally dismiss them by, he uses the same word, by bowing and also by waving his saber. So yes, this has been a big boost for him, and let us hope not an ego boost in a narcissistic way, but a boost in his confidence. So I think that's a good thing, and that's furthering his growing up a little bit. And lo and behold, he even had a good time with his cousins and whatever children were there at the dance class at Pavlovsk. He didn't complain about it or it being boring. He just says it was a lot of fun. Okay, and sometimes I think he was awfully precocious about certain things, and other times I think he was quite innocent, and maybe it was a combination of both. But here he mentions that Aunt Mavra, they'd been seeing a lot of the Konstantinovichi, and that he noticed that Aunt Mavra had a fat belly, as he puts it, but he had not guessed that it was because she was pregnant. Okay, well, the daughter that she gave birth to was Princess Vera Konstantinovna, and she lived to a ripe old age. She actually ended up dying in the United States, in New York State, at the age of 94 in 2001. And aside from that, I really know very little about her, but if you're interested, maybe an interesting person to look up online. She definitely has her own Wikipedia entry. Okay, and then there was this incident that Gavril tells Dmitri about. Well, Dmitri is at Pavlovsk, about how he and his siblings were out riding with their uncle, Uncle Mitya. So this was the other Grand Duke Dmitri. I usually refer to our Dmitri just as Grand Duke Dmitri, but there were two. There was Grand Duke Dmitri Pavlovich, and there was Uncle Mitya, who's Grand Duke Dmitri Konstantinovich. And he was, like his brother, Konstantin Konstantinovich, he was Dmitri's biological great uncle. So not just a cousin called uncle, but an actual uncle. And I suppose, sorry, brief interruption there. I suppose maybe the reason that Dmitri, our Dmitri, wasn't called Mitya, which is the usual pet name or nickname for Dmitri, was because there was already a Mitya in the family. So this artillery officer, boy, did he screw up. He clearly didn't recognize that he was riding behind a Grand Duke. Apparently this was, a public riding path. And so he was extremely rude. He shouldn't have spoken that way to anyone, especially not, to someone who was out with children. So I think it was quite just on Mitya's part to place him under arrest, or to tell him to go to the commandant and be placed under arrest on his own. 28 days does seem a bit extensive, But maybe, given that this other officer was also given 28 days, maybe that was just the sort of standard time period for some reason. So I'm running out of, my phone is about to die. I have no idea why the singers, so a regiment would have a choir and musicians, and I have no idea why the singers in this instance were wearing civilian hats. Why on earth would you wear a civilian hat if you're wearing a military uniform? So that's odd, but we will take Dimitri's word for it that that is what happened. And all right, I'll see you next time. Bye.